good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Everyone, let's sing it. I love you, baby. Not a bad little intro there. Just like the intro to this video. Coming up next is a bit of a Q&A session that I did with the students at Macleay College. Make sure you have a listen to it. Thanks to those guys again. It was really good to talk to you about my startup journey and where I'm up to and what I'm doing. But that's it for now. Watch these next videos and hope you enjoy them. Talk to you soon.
So to get where you are now, sometimes that journey we need to know where it all started.
Yeah.
How did it begin? Because
Yeah.
I'm sure we just don't wake up one morning and take a handful of entrepreneur pills and spring into life.
No.
So give us a bit about the
background.
your background. Where did it start? How did it evolve? And where did this kind of concept of I want to look after myself and be my own boss go? So
It's definitely been a journey. I started off my career, I came out, I did a 1-year course on public relations and marketing, and then managed to score a job at 2WS, a radio station out west of Sydney. I was lightning Luke on the streets of Sydney, handing out free cans of Coke, doing live crosses to the announcers. People say I've got a radio voice, I could have gone that way, but I didn't. But anyway, David didn't give me a chance. And then what I ended up doing is I ended up working in the promotions team of a radio station, and worked really hard in that area. I was earning like 19 grand a year. I wasn't earning much money, but I loved what I was doing. And because of that passion and drive, I managed to grow up that chain very quickly and ended up being New South Wales promotions manager of 2WS, or WSFM now, and KISS Mix 106.5 back in the day. I then went overseas and worked 2 years over in the UK, worked for a radio station over there, came back and managed to get a job back at the radio network that I was with, and ended up being national promotions director of all the radio stations nationally by the age of 27. Then I got a little bit sick of big corporate life. It became too much, it became a little bit political, and I wasn't really enjoying the promotions and sponsorship aspect of it. And I stumbled upon a company called MCM Media. They took me on, and I ended up getting into the sales realm of media. But MCM was a smaller based business, so not only could I come up with the ideas, so still my promotions and sponsorships background, but I could then go out there and sell them. And I found out that I was very good at selling my ideas, and I made a lot of money in selling my ideas. And we used to put on things like live events called Live at the Chapel. We launched Vivo in this marketplace, which you may be familiar with. And then I, as the business grew, I grew, and I ended up being sales director of that media organisation. And then things started to change. I lost my ideation part of me, where it became, when I was sales director, it became too much about numbers. You're only as good as your next month. I was doing trading deals with media agencies, and that was killing me because it wasn't ideating anymore. It was very much transactional stuff. And I think and my life became too much about sort of probably money and lifestyle. And as I lost a little bit of me, I started to not really understand where I was going to be next. But because I was in this mouse reel of this media bubble, I didn't know how to get off it because I got a mortgage. I decided, I liked my Audi, which I've still got. I was too much about the physical product aspect. And then I didn't start progressing any further because I didn't know where my vision was. And then I decided to move over to a content agency for a year because everyone was doing content, and I thought that's where I should be. But again, it was a band-aid. It wasn't really solving me and what I wanted to be. And I actually had a mate of mine, a really good friend of mine. He runs a financial business. He's also invested a whole bunch of childcare centres. He's worth lots up now. And I said to him over the phone one day, I go, mate, I started coming up with ideas around wine industry and all that type of stuff. And he goes, dude, you need to stop. You're all over the place. You're not helping yourself right now. You're not thinking clearly. You need to take some time off and start to assess what's right for you. And it took him, and it wasn't, that conversation was a lot more aggressive than what I'm saying to you right now. He had to shock me to stop, and I did. So I ended up taking about 3 months off to really think about what was next. And I started thinking about, well, what don't I want to do first? And it was very clear that I didn't want to be sales director of a media organisation. I'd done my time in advertising, plus the industry's fickle at the moment. And then I went, well, what do I want to hold on to? And it came down to three things. One, I want to make people happy. It's a core part of who I am, right? How you make people happy is by understanding what they love in life, their motivations, so their passions. And I didn't want to lose my final P, which was partners. I built up 17 years worth of equity in relationships that I just didn't want to say goodbye and then go work in the wine industry where I couldn't take into those relationships again. So that's the three Ps that I centralise my business around, in people, partners and passions right now.
You mentioned two really important things there, I think, not only when we're starting a small business, but when we're trying to fund it. One was the validation side.
Yes.
Because it's great to have a great idea, but if no one wants it,
That's
it's
right.
like, how many more mousetraps can you build?
Exactly.
And the other side was the cash flow.
Yes.
Can I just go to the validation side of it?
Yes.
You said you did a heck of a lot of it.
Yes.
What was the heck of a lot of it you were doing?
Yes.
Were you questioning yourself, or were you questioning whether this product you're developing actually had legs?
So I spent a bit of money at the start in building a user flow prototype of my tech, just for my own headspace to work out how does it look, how does it feel, what can I showcase potential investors, and what can I showcase the businesses out there and how it would operate. So I took that validation straight up, and I spent, it ended up being around 15 grand. To not only build a user flow prototype, but to build my logo and brand and the pitch deck that I take to market. I then use that user flow prototype to go talk to the partners, record labels, movie companies, TV networks, etc., and go, this is where my head is going, would you guys be interested when I launch? And the answer was yes, but come back to me when you're ready. I also validated with a lot of corporates on the other side who would take it up, and the real interesting part is there's not many people doing what I'm about to do out there. I'm not saying it's going to be easy for me, but I've already got a network of about 10 to 15 corporates willing to take it up as my beta test, just to make sure that I can validate that product before I go scale it enough and probably go on another cap raise to make that journey happen. So the validation part is so vital. Then you have to work out how you're going to fund it.
Let's just go back. We talked about the validation. Let's talk about that funding phase, because when you're there, sitting in the kitchen at home with one line birding, eating a cheese sandwich, wondering if this is going to get up and go, what were the processes that you went through in that whole funding thing? Because you've got
still going through it at the moment.
Beyond fresh air and sunshine, you need some cash.
Like I worked in sales.
What can you share with us without breaching confidence of what that whole journey was?
What that process was. I went from a massive 6-figure salary to basically going back to my promo wages again when I was handing out free cans of Coke. It's a big decision, but I didn't want to live my life in regret, right? And this to me was the biggest motivating factor. I just got married. Well, I was about to get married. I haven't got kids yet, and I went, fuck, if I'm not going to do it now, I'll never do it.
Right.
And that in my head, and I've got a very supportive wife. She's an entrepreneur on her own, so we're both business owners, which struggles from a cash flow perspective as well, because we're trying to marry this up, but what's the alternative? Like the alternative is this doesn't work and I get back in the media and use my experience in the startup journey to come up with new ideas for businesses, to look at leveraging new assets, right? Like that's my fallback option.
That's your plan B.
That's my plan B.
Which is not one you obviously at the moment want to.
I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to go back in that world.
No.
But I'm now looking at just what bandwidth we've got over the next sort of 3 to 6 months. A couple of good things are starting to happen. Like I said, I'm working with brands already in the sponsorship and partnership space. So I'm going to be bringing in revenue based off what my skill set is anyway. And that money will come in at the back end of the year. So I know that I'm building a pipeline of revenue that will get me through. But I'm still looking at that investor layer to help me with the tech perspective, because I want investors that want to come on the journey with me, that can add value to my journey, whether it be in different areas that I don't have skills in. And because I'm a sole entrepreneur at the moment, I don't have a co-founder who is a tech head that can help me.